වේවා. පැමිණ සිටින ඔබ සියලු දෙනාම ඊටාම සාදරයෙන් සහ ගෞරවයෙන් පිළිගන්නවා.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We warmly welcome you all to the screening of the short film In Search of the Malwatu Oya, a journey to the heart of the civilization of Sri Lanka.
මිනිසාට අතීතයක් නැත්නම් අනාගතයක්ද නැත. මක්නිසාද අනාගතය ගොඩනැගෙන්නේ අතීත සම්ප්‍රදායන්, සංස්කෘතීන්, අනන්‍යතාවයන් මතය. ඉතින් අද අපේ සංස්කෘතිය, ඉතිහාසය, සભ્યත්වය හා අනන්‍යතාවය අපෙන් මෑත් වී යන මේ කාලයේ මෙවන් කාර්යයකට මුලපිරු සියලු දෙනාටම ප්‍රථමයෙන් මගේ හදපිරි ප්‍රමාණය පුද කරනවා. තරුණයෙක් ලෙස මම විශ්වාස කරන දෙයක් තමයි අපි අද මේ වර්තමානයේ මුහුණ දෙන සියලු ප්‍රධාන ගැටලු වලට හේතුව අපි අපේම ඉතිහාසයෙන්, අපේම සංස්කෘතියෙන්, අපේම අනන්‍යතාවයෙන් ඈත් වී යන නිසා. ඉතින් එම සිතුවිල්ල හිතේ දරාගෙන අපි ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා ඔබ සියලු දෙනාට මල්වතු ඔය සොයා ගිය ඒ අපූර්ව ගමනේ කොටස්කරුවන් වන ලෙස.
This prestigious event, the screening of the short film Malwatu Oya, is an event proudly sponsored by Haley's Agriculture and also an event dedicated to the children of the irrigation civilization. This evening is devoted to the river. Today, we make history as we discover its foundations that has never been explored before. Tonight, you will hear from the members of this expedition. You will hear a series of classic songs devoted to the theme of ancient Anuradhapura, to the river and its surroundings. And you will hear poems about the Malwatu Oya composed specially for this project.
නවාෂා, ඔය අහලා තියෙනවද? කියමනක් තියෙනවා ලොවෙන් එකෙක් එක් දෙයකට වෙයි සමත කියලා. ඉතින් මේ ඔබ හට හඳුන්වා දෙන්න යන්නේ මේ කියමන අසත්‍යයක් ලෙස පත්කර සුන්දර යුවතියක් ගැන. ඇය වෛද්‍යවරියක්. නමුත් වෘත්තියෙන් ඇය කතිකාචාර්යවරියක්.
Yes, Shashin. Music at the hands of the best people touches the very bottom of our hearts. Today, at this delightful evening, we are honored to have one of the most renowned vocalists and pianists Mother Sri Lanka has ever produced. What is even more beautiful about this person is that despite being a lecturer at the medical faculty at the University of Colombo, after having graduated from the same, she has always found the time to follow her passion. This is none other than Dr. Nilanka Anjali Vikramasinghe.
What I like most about rivers is you can't step in the same river twice. The water's always changing, always flowing. But people like us can't live like that. We all must pay a price. To be safe, we lose our chance of ever knowing what's around the river bend, waiting just around the river bend. I look once more, just around the river bend, beyond the shore, where the gulls fly those trees, and right behind those waterfalls. Can I ignore the sound of distant drumming? Or should I choose the smoothest coast instead of drifting here? And never dream that something might be coming. What's around the river bend, waiting just around the river bend? I look once more, just around the river bend, beyond the shore, where the gulls fly free. Don't know what for, what I dream though day might send, just around the river bend, just around the river bend, just around the
Thank you, Dr. Vikramasinghe, for that beautiful performance. Just Around the River Bend is a song that she's deeply passionate about. And we hope that that song will be a fine entrance to all Sri Lankans overseas to join us in this journey to explore the Malwatu Oya.
නමාශය මෙතුමිය ගැන කියනවා නම් මෙය ලංකාවෙන් නිදහස් අධ්‍යාපනය හදාරා කොළඹ නීතිපීඨයේ වාණිජ නීතිය ප්‍රගුණ කර ලංකාවේ නීතිඥවරියක් වශයෙන් කටයුතු කර ඉන්පසු මෑට අවස්ථාව හම්බෙනවා එක්සත් ඇමරිකාවට යන්න. අද ඇය ඇමරිකාවේ ටෙක්ලා සොලියුෂන්ස් තාක්ෂණ ආයතනයේ ප්‍රධාන විධායක නිලධාරිනිය ලෙස කටයුතු කරනවා. මට මතක ඇති අපිට හම්බුණ අවස්ථාවක් මෙතුමියත් එක්ක සුහඳව කතා බහක යෙදෙන්න මිනිත්තු කිහිපයක්. හැබැයි එදා මෙතුමිය අපිට කිව්වේ ලංකාවේ සම්පත් විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි මේවායින් කීප දෙනයි ප්‍රයෝජන ගන්න. ඉතින් මෙතුමිය අපිට කිව්වා අපි පොඩියට හරි මේක පටන් ගන්න ඕන කියලා. අද එතුමිය මේ මහඟු කර්තව්‍යයේ ප්‍රධාන බැරහැර දරනවා. මම විශ්වාස කරනවා එතුමිය අපි හැමෝටම ආදර්ශයක් කියලා.
Yes, Shashin, I remember very well meeting her a few days ago. She studied here, studied at the Faculty of Law, University of Colombo. And today, she is a CEO of Tekla Solutions, a technology solutions company based in Seattle, Washington, in the United States of America. I remember her saying very clearly that she wants to start a movement of giving back to her motherland. Her involvement and financial support has helped produce Malwatu Oya as a documentary, both in English and in Sinhala. Mrs. Shanika Veerasundara, it is our honor to invite you on stage to share your insight with the distinguished gathering.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. When I heard about the Malwatu Oya and where they were, the team, in terms of what they were doing, taking an expedition to the heartland of the country in search of this beautiful river that contributed to the early stages of our country's civilization. So I wanted to read a little bit more about this. And as I was reading, I really felt that I was reconnecting with my past as well as a legal and licensing expert in the technology sector. I've dealt with a lot of countries with a lot of intellectual property and how they monetized this intellectual property. It was the oil, the materials, the manufacture and the processes and the natural resources that made a country or a group of people rich. But today, it is the technology that adds value to a business. So when you really think about the old economy, it took some of the countries almost 100 years to attain the value of $100 billion company. Whereas in today's technology economy, these companies have accomplished that within 15, 16 years. Sri Lanka being a small country with an amazingly high level of education and the human capital, I really felt technology should be our future. And when I was talking about Sri Lanka with my international colleagues as well as some of the professionals that I've been meeting, I found out they are absolutely clueless about our country. Their perception about Sri Lanka was really formed based on the media that they've been exposed to, both good and bad. And they also knew that it was a very beautiful country. However, they did not know anything compelling about Sri Lanka. As a person who is engaging in global business, I truly believe that mutual respect and admiration between the two parties or two countries who are trying to do business is very important for forming strong relationships. And without that, we've seen that the relationships formed that way have not been very enduring or truly productive. The very heart of a country and its people goes back to the culture and history. There is no better way to understand the country and the culture than learning about its own history. And I felt I was learning the history of my own country by supporting Malwatu Oya. And above all, love for one's country and putting your heart into your work. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. The search of Malwatu Oya definitely connected me with my roots in a compelling, memorable and very extraordinary way. It is a right and it's a gift, especially when I was young, I really felt that it is a right for us to learn from the world, see the world and flourish in the world. But right now, at this stage of my life, I feel that the most extraordinary privilege in my life would be to serve one's motherland. And it is my wish that each one of us who see Malwatu Oya find that privilege. Thank you.
Shashin, I think you and I represent the younger generation. The generation that must take a moment to truly appreciate the treasures we have as Sri Lankans, our people, our values, and our heritage. And for us, a speech like Mrs. Veerasundara's, especially because we ourselves are products of the free education of Sri Lanka, is truly inspiring. Thank you, madam.
අද අපි දන්නවා අපේ සමාජයෙන් සිංහල කාව්‍ය කෙමෙන් කෙමෙන් ඈත් වී යනවා. එවන් යුගයක අපේ සිංහල කාව්‍යයට නව පුනර්ජීවනයක් දීම සඳහා මෙම කෙටි චිත්‍රපටය තුලින් සෑහෙන වෙහෙසක් දරා තිබෙනවා. ඉතින් මෙම කාව්‍යයන් තිලිනි වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්මියගේ ස්වතන්ත්‍ර නිර්මාණ. අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා ඇයට මේ අපේ අගාධයට යන අපේ අනන්‍යතාවයට සිංහල කාව්‍ය ආරක්ෂා කර ගැනීමට ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය ලැබේවා කියලා.
I completely agree with you, Shashin. Today, Sinhala poetry has lost its mass appeal. For a tradition with such a rich and ancient literary heritage, this, Shashin, is a very sad state of things. Yet, there is still hope, as we have people like Mrs. Tilini Wickramasinghe, who are inspired by the beauty of our motherland and refuse to give up on writing about it. I invite her now on stage to read out the poems she's composed of the Malwatu Oya, and we sincerely hope that this will remind you of the beauty of the Sinhala verse.
සුබ සන්ධ්‍යාවක්. මම තිලිනි වික්‍රමසිංහ භෞතික විද්‍යාඥවරියක් ලෙස මහරගම අපේක්ෂාරෝහලේ සේවය කරනවා. Good evening. I'm Tilini Vikramasinghe, medical physicist at Apeksha Hospital Maharagama. මේ මල්වතු ඔය මම දුටු ආකාරය. රිටිගල සිරස සිඹිමින් පහළට බසිනා රැලි මත රැලි නගන රන් දියවර අගනා සුළඟට ලෙලෙන තුරුපත් මල් වැසි වසිනා පද බැඳ ගයමි ඒ මල්වතු ඔය වරුණා මුගලන් පඬුවබා මහදාසෙන් නිරිඳු වැව් බැඳ අමුණු කරවා පියවර රැන්දු රජරට කෙතින් සහලින් නිති සිරි කැන්දු කර වූ අසිරි සිරි සිරිලක මන බැන්දු වැව් බැඳි රජරටේ ඉතිහාසය පැරණි මල්වතු ඔයේ නිල් දිය මත පන ගැහුණි පෙරවුන් දවස බිම සවුසිරි කළ බැවිනි අදටත් රන් දියේ මල් පාවඩ සැදුනි. These poems describe the beauty of the Malwatu Oya, how it nurtured Rajarata, and how nature salutes the river by adorning it with flowers. Thank you.
Thank you for that beautiful verse. Today, we discover history that has never been explored before. And I think her beautiful verse was a perfect introduction to this cause. Now, exploring Malwatu Oya is not an easy task. But today, we prove that it is not impossible. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not only possible for men, but it is also possible for women to be a part of this cause. The next speaker we invite to address the gathering is representing this possibility for all women. She is deeply passionate about her connection to her motherland and is a photographer behind many of the beautiful captures in this documentary.
මෙම කටුක ගමනේදී ඒ එක් එඩිටර් කාන්තාවක් සියලු කාන්තා පරපුර නියෝජනය කරමින් සහභාගී වුණා. ඉතින් තව සුළු වේලාවකින් ඔබලා සියලු දෙනාම නරඹන්නට නියමිත එම චිත්‍රපටයේ පිටිපස්සේ තියෙන ඒ සාර්ථකත්වය පිටුපස මේ කාන්තාවත් සිටිනවා. ඉතින් නමාෂා ඔබට ආඩම්බර වෙන්න පුළුවන් කාරණයක්. ඉතින් අපි ඊටමත් ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා හිරණ්‍ය මල්වත්ත මහත්මියට ඔබ අමතන ලෙස.
We have come together today because we all have something in common. That is a great interest in this country, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka means, to me, Sri Lanka doesn't mean only the trees, the hills, the rivers and other beautiful landscapes. To me, to love Sri Lanka is to love all other aspects, all beautiful aspects of the country. Most importantly, the people, the culture, our values, and of course our history and heritage. I was fortunate to meet a group of people who share this love, and together we created something wonderful, something we think is wonderful, called Malwatu Oya, in search of the Malwatu Oya. We journeyed through the river, created a documentary film, and learned so much in the process. I learned so much about how we were as a people thousands of years ago. It is humbling yet enriching to meet our ancestors this way, and what we want is to share our experience with our fellow Sri Lankans and to share the story of our country with the rest of the world.
ඕලු පිපීලා විල ලෙල දෙනවා සුදට සුදේ නංගෝ ඕලු නෙලාලා මාල ගොතාලා පළඳිමු අපි නංගෝ.
It is with pleasure that I express the joy of having to listen to Dr. Nilanka Anjali Wickramasinghe perform two beautiful Sri Lankan songs. The first song she will be performing is named Olu Pipila. Translated in English, this means lilies in bloom. This was composed by Mr. Sunil Shantha, an influential Sri Lankan composer, singer and lyricist who must be credited for developing Sinhala music and folk songs. The second song that she will be performing is a song named Gagaddara, which means beside the river. This song appeared in the 1980 Sinhala language film also named Gagaddara, directed by Sumitra Pires. The music and lyrics of this iconic song that is close to the hearts of many was composed by Mr. Nimal Mendis.
Olu pipila velelele denawa sudata sude nangu Olu nilala mala godala paladimu api nangu සරදුණු වරලමැද හොයාලා ඉරනම් පවසනිවා සංසුන් වූ තරමින් නොසැලෙනවද පාලේ බැඳි රන්දම් ඔබ හා ආයි පැයි තුෂාර සුසුම් චමත්කාරේ රන් රේඛා අප සැලෙන හදින් දුටුවා ඔබ රුව ඡායා සැඟවේ පායා ඔබ රුව ඡායා සැඟවේ පායා ගඟ ඉන්දර වී තෙපුල් පවන් අතරේ අන පුෂ්පිත මුව සුපුල් සිනා විසිරේ මා හද රහසේ බැඳුනා පහසේ ගඟදිය රැලි නුඹ නාඩන් කිසි දවසේ ගඟදිය සුලි මැද උණුසුම් සුව ගැවසේ ඔබ රුව ඡායා සැඟවේ පායා මල් සරදුණු වරලමැද හොයාලා ඉරනම් පවසනිවා සංසුන් වූ තරමින් නොසැලෙනවද බාලේ බැඳි රන්දම් ඔබ හා ආයි පැයි තුෂාර සුසුම් චමත්කාරේ රන් රේඛා අප සැලෙන හදින් දුටුවා ඔබ රුව ඡායා සැඟවේ පායා ඔබ රුව ඡායා සැඟවේ පායා ඔබ රුව ඡායා
Shashin, you look a bit nervous. I'm wondering why.
ඇත්තටම නමාෂ මට තේරෙන්නේ එතුමාව කොහොම හඳුන්වලා දෙන්නද කියලා. මොකද ඇත්තටම මේ අවස්ථාව මම ඊටමත් වාග්යක් කොට සලකනවා. අපි දෙදෙනාගේම ගුරු පියාණන් මේ මාතෘ භූමියට පෑනෙන් ඉමහත් සේවයක් කළ අප සිසුන්ගේ නැන පහදපු දහසක් ජනයාට පරිශීලනය කරන්න වටිනා පොත් රසක් ලියූ ඒ ආදරණීය චරිතය ආචාර්ය සිංහරාජ තමිත දෙල්ගොඩ ගුරු පියාණනි ඊටමත් ගෞරවයෙන් ඔබට ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා මෙම කර්තව්‍ය ප්‍රදානියා වශයෙන් ඔබ සෑම අමතන ලෙස.
Yes, Shashin. He's a man who is absolutely passionate about history. In fact, he has a PhD in history from King's College, London. He's also one of the few who has written on Sri Lanka's artistic and cultural heritage in the English language to share the beauty of our motherland with the world. But as Shashin mentioned, we have personal reasons as to why we admire him as well. He's the reason that Shashin and I became a part of this event in the first place. Every conversation I have had with him has always left a lesson with me. He has inspired us in multiple ways than he would want to admit. He's also the mastermind behind this beautiful short film that we just saw. Dr. Singharaja Thammita Delgoda, as your students, we expect to meet you after this event and hear you make a joke about what we had to say to you at this forum. But it is our absolute honor to invite you on stage to address today's gathering.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. It is the beginning of a voyage of the mind, of the body, and the soul. Thousands of years after its beginning, Sri Lanka is still, we forget this today, an agricultural land. It is still a farming society. We are still totally dependent on water, and we survive through irrigation. It is fitting that this evening is supported by Haley's Agriculture. The reaction, as I understand, was almost instant and wholehearted. It is characteristic of a Sri Lankan company working for Sri Lankans with Sri Lankans. This is a new way of seeing and showing this country from within, by people who live here for the world. It comes from understanding and experience. It is enriched by love and feeling, enhanced by art, sustained by massive effort. It has been done by a few fellow travelers at enormous cost of their own time, money, and labor. Our hosts this evening, and I hope you like them, Sashan, Nimesh, Fernando, and Namasha Ratnayaka, have given freely of their time and themselves. They put a massive effort into this, and I didn't even have to threaten or emotionally blackmail them. They're educated reasonably, intelligent reasonably, deeply grounded in their culture and their country. Most of all, this is an example of what Sri Lankans can do for their country and their culture when united by common purpose, driven by nothing more than love of country and burning will. This is a journey of the present, in search of the past, for the sake of the future. Thank you for joining us at the beginning of this journey.
We have another performance by Dr. Nilankanjali Wickramasinghe for today. She will be performing the song Danno Budunge, which means in English, Knowing the Buddha's Dhamma, composed by Mr. John De Silva. It was first performed in 1903 and depicts how Anuradhapura became the heart of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. More than 100 years later, it is still a song that all Sri Lankans admire.
Danno